Hello, I'm Chris Casey.
And I'm Kristin Lagana. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll travel down to a hidden gem in Cape St. Clair, and we'll also preview an all-star baseball game happening this weekend. But first, making headlines this week. County government has a new second in command with a ton of business and management experience. County Executive Steve Shue has appointed Mark Hartzell as the new Chief Administrative Officer. Now, this is a very important position because the CAO is responsible for implementing reforms and working alongside the Chief of Staff to run day-to-day operations of county departments. Hartzell comes from a similar background to Shue. He was a former managing director at banking giant J.P. Morgan Chase. And for the last 5 years, Hartzell has served as head of sales and marketing at ComputerShare, Inc., a $14 billion company. Here is what County Executive Shue had to say about his new hire.
I think he brings a skill set from the private sector and a focus on customer service with the knowledge of Anne Arundel County that makes him perfectly suited for this job. It is very unusual that someone of the level of accomplishment from a career and financial perspective as Mark Hartzell would be willing to set all that aside and come back to his home county and help make Anne Arundel County a better place to live, work, and start a business.
A few other tidbits about Hartzell. He recently moved back here from the New York City suburbs, and he's still unpacking his boxes. He once lived at the Naval Academy, where his dad was a physical education teacher, and he attended both Arundel and St. Mary's high schools. Welcome aboard, Mr. Hartzell, and we look forward to meeting you. That's quite the resume, huh, Chris?
Very impressive resume. I think it's also important to say that John Hammond's been acting as budget officer and CAO for the last, couple years. So
yes, and done a lot of great service for the county.
Done a lot of great service, and we're looking forward to going back to just his budget officer role. Maybe some more time on his hands.
Have you met Mr. Hartzell yet?
I have not, but I'm looking forward to it. He's definitely got a lot of experience that's going to benefit us and help us get our ship sailing right.
Well, welcome.
Welcome. So let's turn to environmental news for a minute, Kristin.
Oh, my favorite.
Your favorite.
My favorite.
You probably already know this, but many of our viewers may not. This year, Anne Arundel County will spend $70 million. $70 million, so just a little more than you make.
Right.
$70 million to fix the broken stormwater pipes and eroded waterways. Literally hundreds of projects are going on around the county, and we visited two in Annapolis. Just off Old Bay Road and down a hill, crews repairing a failing culvert that caused several sinkholes to form and also contributed to flooding in the neighborhood. Department of Public Works Director Chris Phipps talked about the importance of these projects. Here's what he had to say.
What's really important is seeing the results, and because that's what we're here to do. So when you turn around and you see the vista into the bay and you see that there's sailboats out there, there's people enjoying the bay, there's people accessing and interacting in the bay, that's what's important. It all takes removing those nutrients and those sediments, but at the end of the day, what's important is being able to enjoy this vista and see the people, see the interactivity within the bay, and that's what we're here for.
Let's break down this one project to give you an idea of all the work involved. So crews first had to breach a 200-foot long, 60-foot wide, and 20-foot high railroad embankment. Then they removed the damaged pipe and replaced it. Then they created what is called a step pool storm conveyance. Try to say that all at once, which I call pretty rocks and plants to slow down and absorb pollutants, a more simple version. But it's actually really incredible to think that this is just one of the hundreds of projects going on around the county right now. And, it's really good. It's good to see.
It is.
We're taking care of our infrastructure, we're getting it fixed, and it's going to result in less flooding issues for homeowners and a cleaner bay. And
we can all get behind that.
We can all get behind it.
If you've been following us online or on cable TV, you have probably noticed a ton of new programming. Maybe there's so much to learn about this county that you just can't keep up with it all. But no problem, everything you see here is archived on YouTube. Just go to www.youtube.com/AACTVWIR or type Arundel TV in the search box. Now, of course, you can watch Chris and I over and over again hosting Week in Review, but there's so much more. Our two newest programs are Roundtable, which features a panel of experts talking about issues of the day, and Time for Trails, which will give you a primer on each of the county's best places to hike and bike. The first episode of Roundtable features experts talking about the heroin epidemic and how it's being fought. Time for Trails focuses on our most popular trail, the B&A Trail. Please go and check out our page. We have information about everything from local nonprofit groups doing great work in the community to the growth of Fort Meade to music and even history. You can watch county council meetings and concerts in the park, including a recent performance by my good friend Sweet Lita at Quiet Waters Park. So check it out. Go to YouTube and search Arundel TV.
You know everybody.
I do.
You do. But we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk to Lou Holcomb about a baseball game coming up that means a lot to local prospects. Take a look at our community calendar for events around town, but don't go away. We'll be right back.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Welcome back. Well, one of my favorite things about summer, and Chris, you know this about me, as we've talked about it plenty of times, is baseball. Yes, and joining us today we have Lou Holcomb from Diamond Recruiting. Lou, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here.
And today we're talking about Fear the Claw. So if you can explain to us what Fear the Claw is.
Fear the Claw is part of, and it's a motto for the event that we run. It's called the Crab Claw Classic.
Crab Claw Classic. Say that 3 times fast.
It's a tongue twister, no doubt. It's 13 years running, so we're proud of that.
Wow, okay.
So basically what it is, it's an event where we have a collection of high school players, and it's scouted by college and pro scouts. And we evaluate them, and then we have an all-star game the next night. So.
Just like the All-Star game that we might see all of our big major league players going, but this is on a high school level.
It is.
It's the best of the best.
We've had some of those guys move on to play in the majors.
Really?
So, Stephen Bumbry, Steven Johnson with the Orioles, and we had Brett Oberholzer with the Houston Astros and LJ Hose with the Astros. So
very cool.
Yeah, some of our alumni.
So is this open to players that are from Anne Arundel County, the state, the whole region?
It's a good question. It's mid-Atlantic region. So we have kids come in from New York, New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware.
Awesome.
And then it's a collection of mid-Atlantic versus our high school players from Maryland. So it's a kind of a clash of the best.
Nice.
Yeah.
And where is this going to be held?
It's going to be at Joe Cannon Stadium.
Joe Cannon,
So right here in
okay.
Anne Arundel County.
So if you want to watch, you can go to Joe Cannon Stadium, but if you're not able to make it, it's also going to be on live stream. So there's going to be a live feed, and you can also still get tickets to the event.
Yeah, actually to register for the event, if you're a high school player and you want to be part of the event, you can still do that. You just visit the website, it's diamondrecruiting.com, and you'll go on the website, sign up, we send you a confirmation, you report on Friday, and then you're part of the evaluation.
Are there also any workshops that you guys are providing during this event?
This is not so much of an instructional camp, because I give those also.
Oh, okay.
And I do personal instruction. But this is more of an evaluation. So the kids are kind of coming there, they're showcasing their skills, they're being evaluated, and then hopefully being selected for the All-Star game.
And we were having a conversation before we went on camera about how it's total different animal or ball game, if you will,
Right.
to see a good player playing in his normal, comfortable environment, and then taking him out of that and putting him with the best of the best and seeing how he does.
It is. It's interesting because, like you said, there's a comfort level, but this is a little different twist to it because now they're showcasing themselves individually as players, and hopefully, getting a chance to get in front of these college scouts. That's the idea, to get them exposure to that. So, and then we evaluate them. They're being recruited, or at least scouted, and then having a chance to play on TV or the live stream on the internet is kind of exciting for these guys, these high school kids.
And you mentioned the college coaches coming out and watching. Is it too early for any kind of minor league representation, or are there some of them out there just kind of keeping an eye?
Well, that's a good point. We have pro scouts there. So there'll
Okay.
be scouts from different organizations there recruiting from the pro level. And then we'll have the college scouts, Division 1, 2, 3, junior college. So whatever level player you are, if you're a high school player and you want to play at the next level, this is a good event to attend.
That's exciting for a high school student
Yeah.
to think, oh, I might be playing in front of a pro scout today.
Right.
That's
If you
pretty
think
amazing.
about it, every baseball great there has been discovered by somebody at one point or another.
Right.
So this is the opportunity.
Why not at the Crab Claw Classic?
Why
Yeah.
not?
And a lot of times, some of the big players that are coming, some of the kids that are, maybe not drawing in, scouts are coming to see these bigger players play, but they may see another kid not knowing about that other kid. So you are kind of getting discovered, so to speak.
This is really cool. I like it. I love baseball. So one more time, let's go over the details of the event. This is going to be held at Joe Cannon Stadium. What's the date and time?
July 31st, this Friday, is the workout. So they have to register. You can walk up and register, but we kind of like to have them do it on the website. So July 31st, and then the All-Star game will be Saturday, August 1st.
Okay, at what time?
4 o'clock.
4
for
o'clock.
the All-Star game.
What kind of turnout are you getting at these events? About how many are registering?
Yeah, it varies because there's a lot going on in the summer with these guys. They have summer tournaments, they're traveling, but we usually get 100 to 150 kids.
Great. Well, we definitely encourage participation. So if you know a talented high school baseball player out there, you want to head over to diamondrecruiting.com and get more information about the Crab Claw Classic. And we're all here to fear the claw.
And if you want to watch it, it's on live stream.
Right.
All right.
So definitely get involved. If you know any ball players, get them the word. Lou, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
It's been fun.
Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Week in Review right after this.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
I never felt all that special. But in the wake of an earthquake, we can all do something. When donating goods, it's hard to know what's needed. So now it's my turn to help. Aid workers can spend me locally, where I can help save lives. Someone is doing better because of me. Together, we made that happen.
Welcome back. Even if you live in Cape St. Clair, you might not have ever noticed historic Goshen Farm, a 179-acre gem tucked away from view. Our own Sara Gannon went to take a look. Sarah?
Thanks, guys. Today I'm here with Lou Biondi at Goshen Farms on the Broadneck Peninsula. Lou, can you tell me a little bit about Goshen Farms and what do you do here?
Well, I'm the president of the Goshen Farm Preservation Society. I think the most important thing about Goshen Farm, other than the fact that it dates to 1793 and the land dates to 1690, is that the County Planning and Zoning Cultural Resources Division did a survey and said we are one of the most historic properties in Anne Arundel County.
Wow.
In part because the house was inhabited almost continuously from 1793 to 1961 when May Radoff died. And during that period, there was the basic house, which was added on to in 1863, and then another addition in 1967, which makes it a living history of 230 years of agrarian life on the Broadneck Peninsula.
Sure. How did you come across Goshen Farms?
Actually, I was recruited to join the board by the former president, Barbara Morgan, who spent 8 years in that role, and she is really the person responsible for Goshen Farm and its restoration. She, after 8 years and being in the middle of raising kids and having a husband who worked long hours, said, I can't do it anymore. So I said, well, give me a year as vice president, and then I'd be more than happy to jump in and after I've learned the ropes and take over. So that's basically how I was recruited. And at the time, my wife was secretary of the president. So she was very encouraging to have me come in and take over the reins of the organization.
Very good. Now, I know you have a motto about, is it preservation? Go ahead.
Preservation, restoration, education. We see ourselves becoming a really key education center, not like Arlington Echo, but similar, where students can come and learn about soil, about plants, about the history of the property. They've been, several classes from Broadneck have been out here. A photography class has been out taking pictures of the house.
A lot to take in.
Yes, yes.
Now, can I ask, do you have, is it just field trips that come here, or can you have events here? Can you pay to come?
No, all of our events that are held here are free. Okay. We find it's a kind of gift back to the public. We do sell T-shirts and books, and at our open houses we've started serving food, which is available for purchase, and that raises money. And the community has been very generous. We find if you don't charge people to come in, they get here and they see what we have to offer. They almost feel guilty, and they'll throw a 10 or a 20 in a donation jar that they would have balked at if we had asked for it.
Sure.
And they're more than willing to give while they're here.
Wow. And here's
I've been told to give these to you.
And these are some great products from Goshen Farms, the organic tomatoes. And can you also tell the audience too about your plots that you have here?
We have a sharing garden. There's a total of 64. They're all snapped up very quickly. They're available to members only, and there's an additional fee. The attraction is that this property hasn't had a pesticide or artificial fertilizer on it in 200 years. It's basically all been natural. In the days when it was a working farm, it was manure from the cow barn and things like that. So we have a totally organic garden, and the people love it. We have put up what's called a high tunnel. It's a fancy name for a hothouse.
Okay.
And our garden sheriff, who just handed us the tomato, Terry Brandon, has hand-pollinated all of the tomato plants in there.
Wow.
And those tomato
That's a lot of work.
those tomato plants are producing all the tomatoes that will be used in creating the sauce, or some Italians call it gravy, for our harvest spaghetti dinner, which will be September 19th. And last year we had rave reviews on the sauce that was made from the organic tomatoes, and I personally will be making the Italian meatballs for that event.
Okay, and when is that open to the public, or is it invitation only?
No, it's open to the public. It's
Okay.
going to be September 19th. You can get the information at our webpage,
Okay.
www.goshenfarm.org.
Okay, and do you have a website, or Facebook page?
Yes, we do. And actually, the historic Goshen Farm.
Okay.
If you search on that, you'll find our Facebook page.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for meeting us today and showing us the farm. And back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. Sounds like they have a lot of plans for this farm, and there's a lot of history there as well. It's amazing that a lot of people from Cape St. Clair don't even know it's there. Did you see those tomatoes? Delicious. I love tomatoes.
I bet you do.
I like them on the grill, just plain, just a little salt and pepper.
But you don't discriminate against food. You like all
That's not
kinds of
true.
food.
That is not true.
If it was
There's
zucchini,
gotta be something out
you would
there.
have said, how ripe is that zucchini?
I'm not a big fan of eel.
Okay, well, there's one thing, and they don't grow it on Goshen Farm, so you're safe.
Yeah, I really don't eat a lot of red meat either.
I think it's interesting that there's a lot of these historic farms in the county that people don't know
absolutely.
about. Hancock's Resolution down on Lakeshore Drive in Pasadena. Oh, not Lakeshore, Bayside Beach. I'm getting all my roads wrong. But, a lot of history here. But speaking of food, there might be a new way to deliver food in the near future.
I'm all ears.
I was looking on the news the other day, and Amazon Prime just had a presentation they gave to the FAA. And they were proposing certain regulations for drone delivery. So
this is about to go all over my head, but go on.
It included a 100-foot and below slow drone zone, a 100 to 200-foot fast drone zone, and then above that was a no-fly zone. And so they were talking about how they would communicate with each other, they would be able to sense things. It's all real sci-fi kind of stuff, but if it allows you to get your stuff from Amazon in an hour, then I'm all about it.
So I guess the more money you pay, the higher zone you get.
I don't know. It's really complex. I would recommend looking at it because it's something that is even beyond. I can't even explain it properly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's good news for you.
It reminds me of a movie, and you probably are too young to know it.
I'm the baby.
But it's called Batteries Not Included, where they had all these little guys flying around, and it was a sci-fi film, and now it's going to be our reality, and they'll be carrying things.
I haven't seen it, so you guessed
It's a great movie. That, Johnny Number 5, you should see that as well. I love all those old movies.
But it's been a while since we had a show together. It's been about 2 weeks. We had the interns on last week. It was Francis and Terrence. They did a great job.
All right.
And I think that
they did do a great job. Thank you guys so much for holding it down here in the newsroom.
We couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah.
And I think they might be our replacements, to be quite honest.
I'll watch my back.
I know. But yeah, they did a great job. And coming up, we've got end of summer here. So you have any end of summer plans?
Yeah, definitely want to get out for some more baseball games. I mean, we were just talking to Lou about baseball. Some really great giveaways that are going down at OPC, Orioles Park at Camden Yards.
Yeah.
And a couple of the things that I really like that they're going to be having some hats and stuff, but some of the tall socks.
Like the Oriole socks?
Yeah, I want to get some of those.
By tall, do you mean like knee socks?
Yeah, like high socks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get me a pair.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should rock them on the show.
I'll rock them with you. No, we'll go to the game together and we'll shoot a show.
I'm cool
Oriole
with
Park.
that.
We've got like 15 shows that we got to shoot on site.
We're going to do, absolutely. And I'm also trying to get to the beach.
Yeah,
sometime.
I'm doing that next week for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Where are you going?
Just to Maryland Beach.
Maryland Beach?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? Any other plans before the end of summer?
Not at all. Just getting out there and enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, I got to tell you, I love being by the pool, and I love all the fresh produce, and I love a lot of things that summer represents, especially the baseball. But fall is where it's at for me. So I am ready for fall.
Ready for fall. I like to get through fall as fast as possible.
No!
So I can get to ski season.
Fall's
Because I am
incredible.
all about getting those skis on, going down the hill.
No, I like all the layers, I like the boots, and everything is pumpkin spiced. I also love going to the Maryland Run Fest, and that pretty much wraps it up for me for fall.
Oh, well, convenient, because speaking of wrapping up, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by searching Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county. We'll see you next time.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.